We are observing Kartik Vrata. We are hearing Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the continuation of Damodar Lila. We heard how Nala, Kuber and Manigriv, they were proud because of being sons of Kuber and having so much opulence. So they were misbehaving in front of Sadhu. So Narad Goswami thought, I have to grace them. So he devised a proper medicine to curse them, and he's explaining about how and why. Yesterday we heard, by seeing their faces, one whose body has been pricked by pins can understand the pain of others who are pin-pricked. Realizing that this pain is the same for everyone, he does not want others to suffer in this way. But one who has never been pricked by pins cannot understand this pain. Daridro niraham stambho muktah sarva madair iha krichram yadrichayapnoti tadhi tasya param tapa. A poverty-stricken man must automatically undergo austerities and penances because he does not have the wealth to possess anything. Thus his false prestige is vanquished. Always in need of food, shelter, and clothing, he must be satisfied with what is obtained by the mercy of Providence. Undergoing such compulsory austerities is good for him because this purifies him and completely frees him from false ego. Nityam kshut kshama dehasya daridrasyanna kankshina indriyani anushusyanti hing sapi vinivartate. Always hungry, longing for sufficient food, a poverty-stricken man gradually becomes weaker and weaker. Having no extra potency, his senses are automatically pacified. A poverty-stricken man, therefore, is unable to perform harmful, envious activities. In other words, such a man automatically gains the results of the austerities and penances adopted voluntarily by saintly persons. Saintly persons voluntarily they accept austerity, but he will have to do due to circumstance, providence, but he will get a result anyway. It is there in Bhaktara Samrita Sindhu, Krishna Pritya Bhoga Tyag. For the satisfaction of Krishna, or for the service of Krishna, one has to give up all kinds of enjoyments, selfish enjoyments. Why? Because when he's doing that selfish enjoyments, he's wasting time. At that time, he's not serving Krishna, and he's doing something unnatural. So one has to give up those enjoyments, and because they are obstacles in his service of Krishna, and will entangle him also in action and reaction in this world. How much you exploit, that much you will have to pay back as a reaction. So it is not worth to. You will not get the satisfaction, and you will also get misery, and you will lose opportunity of service of Krishna. So for the sake of Krishna, one should give up all enjoyment. So these sadhus, devotees, voluntarily they do this. Voluntarily. But if someone does not voluntarily do, then if he becomes very sick, then automatically he cannot enjoy. He cannot eat nice food. He cannot do many things. So that is involuntarily, but he will, at least at that time, he will not enjoy. Of course, his desire will remain. When he will be healthy, again he will want to enjoy. But devotees, they are giving up so that they can engage in the service of Krishna, and by service of Krishna they will get higher taste, and then naturally they will not be interested in that thing. Here also Kama, from Bhagavatam, Kamasya nendriya pritir labho jiveta javata jivasya tattva jigyasa nartoya cheha karmabhi. The real business of human life is to keep oneself fit for advancement in spiritual realization. Human life is not meant for making the senses unnecessarily strong, so that one suffers from disease and one increases an envious fighting spirit. So this verse, it was said that one should only desire survival, jivasya, tattva jigyasa, for the sake of tattva jigyasa, to inquire about the truth, to realize truth, that is Krishna. For that is meant this human life. Kamasya nendriya pritir. Kama is not for satisfaction of senses and money and all this. It is meant only for as much as necessary to survive and to do bhajan. That is why in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu you will also find that 8th limb. One should accept these material things only up to how much is necessary for one's livelihood. Not more than that and not less than that. So as to do bhajan. Otherwise we will waste this human life. This human life, by great fortune we got, is very rare, and we should not spoil it for these sensuous enjoyments, because it will not give us what we want, and it will implicate us in reaction. And all this sense enjoyment already we experienced so much in other species, more than it is possible in human. As a bear, you can sleep so long. As fish, you can make so many children. As tiger, you can fight so much. And all this sense enjoyment already was done in a more bigger quantity than it is possible in human life. So why we should strive for that? Human life is not meant for that. It is meant for realizing Krishna and become free from this Maya and this pressure and all this. So, but for that, we have to practice. We have to engage ourselves in positive service of Krishna, and at the same time give up all unnecessary enjoyments. They are not necessary. Daridrasyaiva yujyante sadhavah samadarshina sadbih kinoti tam tarsham tatha arat vishuddhyati. Saintly persons may freely associate with those who are poverty-stricken, but not with those who are rich. A poverty-stricken man, by association with saintly persons, very soon becomes uninterested in material desires, and the dirty things within the core of his heart are cleansed away. Because he is not proud. One who is proud, he will ignore, neglect, or criticize saintly person, as they did, due to having that pride. But if one is materially not so rich, not so beautiful, all this, then naturally he will be humble and he can give respect. That will be beneficial for him. Of course, that also depends on individual status. Like Ambarish Maharaj, he can have whole world, but he is not attached, and no problem. And someone may have very little thing, but it will be problem. Depends on individual person's consciousness. But generally, if you have a lot of worldly things, you will be more proud. So that will be obstacle to your bhajan. Generally. And that I forgot now. Sadhunam samachitanam mukunda charanaishinam upekshe kim dhana stambair asadvir asad ashrayai. Saintly persons, sadhus, think of Krishna 24 hours a day. They have no other interest. Why should people neglect the association of such exalted spiritual personalities and try to associate with materialists, taking shelter of non-devotees, most of whom are proud and rich? There is no benefit, actual benefit. You may get some worldly benefit, but they are temporary and they cannot fulfill you. But if you have association of sadhus, then you will become inclined to serve Krishna and give up all other things. By his realization, you will get that inspiration, that this is better. So that is why that is very beneficial. Tat aham matayor madhya varunya shri Madan dhayo tamo madam harishyami strenayor ajitatmano. Therefore, since these two persons drank with the liquor named Varuni or Madhvi, both are and unable to control their senses, have been blinded by the pride of celestial opulence, and have become attached to woman, I shall relieve them of their false prestige. We are not the enjoyer. That is not our real position, our real nature. Our real nature is we are eternal servants of Krishna, but by the misuse of our relative independence, we wanted to enjoy. But that is unnatural for us, and it cannot satisfy you. So better to give up that effort and give your effort in the service of Krishna under the guidance of pure devotee. Yat imau loka palasya putrau bhutva tamah plutau navivasa sam atmanam vijanitah sudurmadau ator hatah stavaratam syatam naivam yatha punah smritih syan mat prasadena tatrapi mat anugrahat. Vasudevasya sanidhyam labdva dibya sharachate vrite swar lokatam bhuyo labda bhakti bhavishyataha. These two young men, Nala Kuver and Manigrib, are by fortune the sons of the great demigod Kuber, but because of false prestige and madness after drinking liquor, they are so fallen that they are naked, but they cannot understand that they are. Therefore, because they are living like trees, in brackets, for trees are naked but are not conscious that they are naked. These two young men should receive the bodies of trees. This will be proper punishment. Nonetheless, after they become trees and until they are released, by my mercy, they will have remembrance of their past sinful activities. Moreover, by my special favor, after the expiry of 100 years by the measurement of the demigods, they will be able to see the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vasudeva, face to face, and thus revive their real position as devotees. So this is the mercy of Narada Goswami. He does not want to harm anyone. It is absent in the nature of devotee. If you rub sandalwood paste, then sandalwood paste will say, oh, you are harming me, you are oppressing me, you are rubbing me, so I will not emit a good smell, I will give bad smell. That is not possible, because there is no bad smell in sandalwood. And if you burn gold, gold will say, oh, you are oppressing me, so I will stop shining. That is not possible for gold. There is no such thing in gold. And if you cut sugar cane will say, you are cutting me, so I will not give sweet taste, I will give bitter taste. That is also not possible, because it is not there in him. Like that, nature of sadhu is like this. He is all good. He cannot do any harm to anyone. Even if someone is oppressing him, like they did to Prahlad or Haridas Thakur like this, still they cannot wish any bad for anyone or do any harm or take revenge or anything. It is not in their nature, absent, not possible. They are all good. So though Narad Goswami cursed them, but it is actually blessing. It is for their good. That is why those who are gurus, who have love for all living entities, they are entitled to discipline others, to show their mistakes and to rectify like this, because they will do it out of love for that person's benefit. Only they are allowed to do this. But if I, due to some selfish purpose, speak about faults of others with wrong motive, for to put that person down, to smash him, to show that I am better, and all these things, that is another thing. That is offense. That we should not do. So always we have to see the good qualities in others, and every living entity, every conditioned soul has some good qualities. You will not find someone fully bad qualities. Not possible. Some good qualities there. So that you have to see, and you have to see defect in yourself. Then what is there, defect, you have to be conscious and admit. Then you can rectify and you can advance. And those who are already pure, they are entitled to correct others. They will do it for their good. You will find, we are hearing now during Kartik, Vacho vegam manasa krodha vegam jiva vegam udarupasta vegam etan vegam jo vishahita dhira sarvam apimam prithivim sashishya. Rupa Goswami, Upadeshamrita, first verse. One who has control over all these urges of unnecessary speaking and Vacho Vega Manasak, mind all the time planning something and thinking this or so many things. You have to control that. You have to think of Krishna only. And anger, he's not under the control of anger because he has no selfish desire. So there cannot be any unfulfillment in him due to that, and he will not become angry. And tongue always wants to enjoy good taste, and belly wants to eat more than necessary, and genitals want to have sexual enjoyment. One who can control, or one who controlled all these 6 urges by engaging in the service of Krishna, he is entitled to Shishat. Sarvamapyam Prithvin Sashisha. He is entitled to discipline others. He can take disciples and he can discipline them because it will be for their benefit. And in proper way he will discipline them, not for their own selfish purpose. We may have many disciples, but using them for my selfish purpose. That is also wrong. I should be engaged in the service of Krishna and engage others in the service of Krishna. That is proper. So they can do this. But if I am a practitioner, then I have to rectify myself. That should be my project. Not to rectify others. Shri Shuka Uvach. Evam uktva sadevarshir gato narayanashramam nalakuvar manigrivo asatur jamal arjuno. Shukadev Goswami continued, having thus spoken, the great Saint Devarshi Narad returned to his ashram known as Narayan Ashram. And Nalakuver and Manigriv became twin Arjuna trees. Arjuna is one type of tree. It is from that tree you can get good medicine for heart disease in Ayurveda. Arjuna tree. Risher Bhagavatamukyasya Satyam Kartum Vacho Harih Jagama Shanakai Statra Yatrastam Yamalarjuno. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Shri Krishna, to fulfill the truthfulness of the words of the greatest devotee Narad, slowly went to that spot where the twin Arjuna trees were standing. That is why we have to take shelter of pure devotee and only do what he says, not according to our idea whimsically. When Prahlad Maharaj being asked by Hiranyakashipu, where is your Bhagavan? Prahlad said, everywhere. Then why I'm not seeing him in this pillar? Prahlad said, he's in this pillar. So in order to prove the word of his devotee true, Supreme Lord appeared from that pillar. Bol Nrsimha Bhagavan ki Jai. So what pure devotee will say, that Krishna will fulfill. You will find in that Bhagavatam, 2nd chapter, 10th canto, during Janmashtami we are hearing, those who are acharjos, they leave that path which they followed for others to follow. And because Krishna is affectionate, has love for those acharjos, he will accept that path. If others will follow that path, Krishna will accept that as his service because of that love for that acharya. So if we follow the instruction of Guru Guru will say, if you will do Harinam, then you will get Krishna Prem. If you do this, you will get, surely, because Krishna will fulfill that word. And sadhu is not speaking anything outside of the service of Krishna. But if we do according to our whims, then that may be or not. That is why our Gurudev always used to give that example. One may go to Govardhan, thinking it is highest transcendental realm, and he will chant 2 lakhs of Harinam, 128 rounds of Harinam, and he will do Govardhan Parikrama every day, and he will beg for his food from Brajavasis. He will do, but there is some doubt whether he will get the grace of Krishna or not. There is doubt. You will find that verse in Bhagavatam, it is there. I forgot now how it starts. But if someone will stay, for example, like sometimes Gurudev said Delhi, sometimes he said Chandigarh, sometimes he said Calcutta. If someone will stay in the mat and his Guru ordered him, after Arati, you should distribute that Charanamrita of Diti to devotees and to all guests who will come to see Arati, you will give. So that is like no work, only 1 spoon, small spoon, and you just have to pour that water. So no, like outwardly does not seem any kind of great effort and tapasya like this. But because Guru ordered him, that devotee surely will get the grace of Krishna. There is no doubt in it. Because whatever pure devotee does is for the service of Krishna. And what he orders is for the service of Krishna, and Krishna will accept that. Surely, due to love for that pure devotee, being under his control. So that is why always we have to do under the guidance of Vaishnava, Guru. Then that will be accepted as service. Here we see it is Bhagavatam. Who wrote Bhagavatam? Krishna himself in the form of Vyasadeva. He wrote. He himself is saying, to fulfill the truthfulness of the words of the greatest devotee Narad, one who is completely surrendered to Krishna, such devotee, if we follow his order, surely Krishna will accept. There is no doubt. That is why we have to do everything under the guidance of devotee, pure devotee, then that will be accepted by Krishna and we can advance in actual devotion. Otherwise, it may be outward show only, and for some other motives or something, like Prakashananda Saraswati, he asked Mahaprabhu, you are a sannyasi, your duty is to study Vedanta. Why you are mad dancing and chanting with other mad people? Then Mahaprabhu said, what I can do? My Gurudev told me that I'm a fool. I'm fool, stupid. So I have no qualification to study Vedanta. So he gave me another verse from Vedic scripture. In this age of Kali, by chanting Harinam, one can get ultimate goal of life. So I'm doing that, and I got Krishna Prem. So what can I do? He was not shy or ashamed. No, Gurudev, I will do, no, like, no. What Gurudev says, that you have to do. By doing that, you will get ultimate goal. Dhruva did what Narad said. He got. If we will accept the teaching of Gurudev as Dhruva did, we'll get. So this is the point, not to by your own something. That is due to arrogance, false pride. We think I am a very wise person. I know everything. I have so much power and I can do. That is the thing. But one who is a sincere soul, he will sing, Shakti Buddhihin Ami Oti Din Karo More Atmasat. Oh Gurudev, I have no strength, spiritual strength. I have no intelligence. I am foolish. I don't know that service of Krishna is in my real interest. I am foolish. I don't know. I think if I will get sense enjoyment, then I will be happy. So one who can be humble in front of Guru, surrender, then he will get the grace of Guru, will get the service of Krishna, and he can get what he actually needs. So here, because Narad told that you will be rescued by Krishna, so Krishna is going there to rescue them, to fulfill the word of his pure devotee, Narad. This point we have to understand very carefully and accept it in our life. Then you will progress in real devotion. Devarshir me priyatamo yat imo dhana datmajo tat tata sadha yishyami yad gitam tan mahatmana. Although these two young men are the sons of the very rich Kuber, and I have nothing to do with them, Devarshi Narad is my very dear and affectionate devotee. And therefore, because he wanted me to come face to face with them, I must do so for their deliverance. Why Krishna is doing? Because of Narad. So our Parangurudev wrote in that article on Itanantrayodashi that those who are wise, they will become the servant of a pure devotee who controlled Supreme Lord. We cannot estimate about their greatness. Supreme Lord is the greatest. But those devotees who by their love controlled Supreme Lord, how they are great we cannot estimate. It is impossible. So if we can submit to pure devotee and he will give us the service of Krishna, then that will be the surest. It will undoubtedly we will get Krishna Prem, surely. There is no doubt. Because Krishna himself is telling here, I have nothing to do with them. But my Narad told, so I have to do that. So if we do what pure devotee says, surely Krishna will be very happy. Surely. Iti antarenarjunayo Krishnastu yamayor yayo atma nirvesha matrena tirya gatam ulukhalam. Having thus spoken, Krishna soon entered between the two Arjuna trees, and thus the big mortar to which he was bound turned crosswise and stuck between them. Balena nishkarshaya tanvak ulukhalam tat Damodarena tara sotkali tangri bando Nishpetatuh parama vikrami tati vepa skanda pravala vitapo krita chanda shabdo. By dragging behind him with great force the wooden mortar tied to his belly, the boy Krishna uprooted the two trees. By the great strength of the Supreme Person, the two trees, with their trunks, leaves and branches, trembled severely and fell to the ground with great crash. In commentary, this is the pastime of Krishna known as Damodar Lila. Therefore, another of Krishna's names is Damodar, as stated in Harivangsha. Sa cha tanaiva namnatu Krishna vai Dama bandhanat goshte Damodara iti gopibih parigiyate. Dam means rope, Udar means belly, so together Damodar. Tatra Shriya Gurudev said, seeing that in Kali Yuga it will be very difficult to find bona fide Guru. Shiva already told, there may be many so-called Gurus to take money from their disciples or other worldly things. But a real Guru who will take away the suffering of his disciple is very rare by prescribing devotion. So because of this, Krishna himself came in the form of Guru as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he gave us this Shikastaka. If we follow this Shikastaka, that is Mahaprabhu is giving, surely we'll get, but we have to sincerely do. Parang Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtan. How? Trinadapi Sunichana, that we have to try again and again. Tatra Shriya Paramaya Kaku Bhah Spuranto Siddho Upetya Kujayar Iva Jata Veda Krishnam Pranamya Shira Sakila Lokanatam Badanjali Virajaso Idam Uchatu Sma. Thereafter, in that very place where the two Arjuna trees had fallen, two great, perfect personalities who appeared like fire personified came out of the two trees. The effulgence of their beauty illuminating all directions, with both heads they offered obeisances to Krishna, and with hands folded they spoke the following words. Krishna, Krishna, Mahayogims, Tvam Adyah Purushah Para, Vyakta Vyaktam Idam Vishwam Rupam Te Brahmana Vidu. O Lord Krishna, Lord Krishna, two times name is there, Krishna, Krishna. Your opulent mysticism is inconceivable. You are the supreme, original person, the cause of all causes, immediate and remote, and you are beyond this material creation. Learned Brahmanas know, on the basis of Vedic statements, Sarvam Kalo Idam Brahma, that you are everything and that this cosmic manifestation, in its gross and subtle aspects, is your form. Mayavadis, they wrongly understand. It is in Upanishad, Sarvam Kalo Idam Brahma. Everything is Brahma. Everything in this world is Brahma. So I am Brahma. I am Supreme Lord. That is not the meaning. Meaning is everything is Krishna and his potency, which is non-different from him. Gross and subtle is your form, that Virat Rup and his potency. We are also Brahma, we are Supreme Lord, part of his marginal potency, and potency should remain for the possessor of potency, should serve him. That will be natural. Tvam ekah sarva bhutanam dehasvatmendriyeshvara. Tvam eva kalo bhagavan Vishnur avya ishvara. Tvam mahan prakritik sukshma rajah sattva tamo moyi. Tvam eva purushodyaksha sarva kshetra vikaravit. You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the controller of everything. The body, life, ego, and senses of every living entity are your own self. Everything is His potency. You are the Supreme Person, Vishnu, the imperishable controller. You are the time factor, the immediate cause, and you are material nature, consisting of the three modes: passion, goodness, and ignorance. You are the original cause of this material manifestation. You are the super soul, and therefore you know everything within the core of the heart of every living entity. He knows everything. What we did, He knows. Sometimes even we may not be aware that we forgot to do something. We are not aware. But Krishna knows, and He can remind you, you forgot that. Then you can understand, oh, He knows everything. Even I was not conscious that I forgot that thing. But He knows. So He knows everything what we are doing, and He's the giver of fruit. So that is why Gurudev was explaining this again and again. It is due to ignorance that we are blaming others for our own suffering. We cannot get any kind of suffering from anyone if it is not the result of our own action. Others may be instrumental. If I'm not to get something, then no one can do that to me, even if he desires, without the will of Krishna. We see that example that tigers could not eat dhruva because Krishna is not allowing. He is inside the heart. He is controlling. And sometimes even good-natured person, he does not want to do any harm to anyone. But if it is in my karma that I have to get some misbehavior, Krishna may give that through that good-natured person. It is possible. So this we have to realize and give up blaming and seeing the mercy of Krishna, then we can advance in devotion to Him. Here again, to remind myself, you are the super soul, and therefore you know everything within the core of the heart of every living entity. And Gurudev said, why you are blaming me? Krishna is saying, why you are blaming? You don't want me. So why you are blaming me? If you would want me, my service, you will get. But you don't want. You are only outwardly you are saying. But inside you desire so many things. So why you are blaming me? If you do like Ambarish Maharaj, then you will get same result. But you have to do like he did. Grihyamanaistvam agrahyo vikareh prakriter gunai kon vi harhati vigyatum praksidam guna samvrita. O Lord, you exist before the creation. Therefore, who, trapped by a body of material qualities in this material world, can understand you? Here Sai Maharaj is quoting Atashe Krishna Namadi Navadgra. Guru said these senses are temporary. How with temporary senses you can perceive something which is eternal? He is existing before creation. He is not created. But we, under the influence of this material energy, is always changing and temporary. With these senses, how we can understand him? He is beyond our comprehension. But with transcendental eternal eyes, awakened by his grace, we can see. Tasmai tubhyam bhagavate vasudevaya vedase atmadyota gunaischana mahimne brahmane namah. O Lord, whose glories are covered by your own energy. No one can know unless he reveals. You are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. You are Shankarshan, the origin of creation, and you are Vasudev, the origin of the Chatur Vyuha. Because you are everything and are therefore the Supreme Brahman, we simply offer our respectful obeisances unto you. We will find in Vedanta Sutra, Atato Brahma Jigyasa. Now it is time to inquire about Brahma. And immediately, Baladev Vidabhushan is saying that Brahma is Govinda, Krishna, Satchidananda. And he is explaining that. So, Supreme Brahman, or here, Mahimne Brahmane Namah. Yasya avatara gyayante sharireshu asharirina teistair atulyatishayer viryer dehishu asangate sabhavan sarvalokasya bhavaya vidhavayacha avatirnong shabhagena sampratam patir ashisham. Appearing in bodies like those of an ordinary fish, tortoise, and hog, you exhibit activities impossible for such creatures to perform. Extraordinary, incomparable, transcendental activities of unlimited power and strength. These bodies of yours, therefore, are not made of material elements, but are incarnations or avatars of your Supreme Personality. You are the same Supreme Personality of Godhead who have now appeared with full potency for the benefit of all living entities within this material world. Means Matsya, fish, Kurma, tortoise, Varaha, that is hog. But that Matsya first was small fish, and then she requested Satyavati, this very small place, you give me some bigger. Then he gave bigger and bigger like this, and then put in ocean, and that was also too small. So how ordinary fish can do? That is Supreme Lord in the form of fish. And tortoise, he was carrying that whole Mandar mountain on his back, and he was feeling pleasant sensation like scratching. Gurudev said there are some persons in this world, they are saying, I am God. But if you slap him, he will fall down. Or if you put like 100 kg on him, he will fall down. But Krishna lifted Govardhan hill. And as Kurma, he was holding that Mandar mountain is not small mountain. So that is, he's in the form of tortoise, and Varaha, he went inside the ocean and removed the ocean. The ocean became afraid, and he was searching for the whole earth he was bringing up. Can you do whole earth in the form of hog? And so they are not made of material elements. They are avatar. And now you are that same Krishna. You appeared. Why you appeared? For the benefit of all living entities in this material world. Namah Parama Kalyana, Namah Parama Mangala, Vasudevaya Shantaya, Yadunam Pataya Namah. O supremely auspicious, we offer our respectful obeisances unto you, who are the supreme good. O most famous descendant and controller of the Yadu dynasty, O son of Vasudev, O most peaceful, let us offer our obeisances unto your lotus feet. Our Gurudev used to say, Mangalam Vishnu, Mangalam Madhusudanam. Everything is happening by his will. Nothing can happen without his approval. And he is all good. Mangalam Vishnu, Mangalam Madhusudanam. So whatever is done by his will, it is for the eternal benefit of all. But we are not seeing due to our selfish desires. Some days back, one devotee, practitioner devotee, I got message, but I did not reply to not discourage. The message was something was happening. Well, let us hope that everything will take a positive turn in regard to that happening. Then I replied, Krishna is all good. Then I got reply, yeah, yes, but sometimes little more and sometimes little less. That is wrong. That is not true. Krishna is always all good, not sometimes little less, sometimes little more. We are observing in this way because not seeing actual truth. From our selfishness, we are thinking this is less good, that is more good, but it is not like that. We are unable to see as pure devotees like Parang Gurudev, and they see it is all for the best, but we are unable to see due to impure vision. So here in this verse, Namah Parama Kalyana, it is even more emphasized. You are supreme Kalyan, supreme welfare, and you are Parama Mangal, supreme auspicious. So we are offering our obeisances to you. If someone will see the grace of Krishna and not blame anyone and offer obeisance to Krishna, then he will get Krishna. That verse Brahma told, actually Krishna speaking through the mouth of Brahma because he blessed him. So again from Bhagavatam it is the fact. Krishna is telling who will get me, one who will follow this. He will see my grace in all circumstances, he will not blame anyone, and he will submit to me, he will get me. So tomorrow we will further hear about the prayers of Nala, Kuber and Manigriv. Now they realized by Krishna's grace and they are offering such beautiful prayers like Dhruva did, Prahlad did, and other devotees they are doing like Brahma. So this Gajendra, we have to follow these prayers, then Krishna will be satisfied because he blessed them, he was satisfied with them.